Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my Sunday wake and bake. I'm gonna move my camera. So yeah, I'm not starting this video over again. Something caught my attention this morning when I was browsing social media. So this is gonna be a bipolar 1 video for the most part. I'll talk about other things too, but let's get into it. Natural remedies, big pharma. I have a lot of opinions about this because I have a lot of experience with it. Now, like a long time ago, I made like some spiritual warfare videos, and I talked a little bit about a holistic healing school that I went to back when I was like 20 years old or something like that. Now, I learned a lot of good things at that school, like about nutrition, which I don't follow anymore, and like herbal medicine and things like that. But it got me in the mindset that big pharma is 100% bad. And if you take their drugs, there's something wrong with you. It's almost like a character defect or something if you submit to big pharma. Now, with that being said, with that mindset, I went about 20 years without medications, and it's almost like my brain degenerated over time. It's like my mental illness got worse and worse and worse, even with treatment, even with the mainstream big pharma treatment. I am in the hospital more now. Not as a result of the pills. I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think it's my brain is like degenerating. I don't know. The one thing I can say is that Zoloft, if you have bipolar 1 and you take an SSRI, SSRIs can cause mania. They can kind of like trigger mania, and which can trigger psychosis in people like myself. And so, my opinion only, I'm not stating facts. Zoloft could be a little bit of a culprit. I'm not so sure about that. Just don't bash my marijuana. Don't say my marijuana causes psychosis when I'm on a drug that causes it too. Okay? So, I'm gonna hit my bowl. So, anyway, okay, so I get in this conversation a lot with people who attack big pharma. Will always say, now we know. This is what somebody just said to me. Now we know there's natural remedies, and it's kind of like, would you go up to the crazy guy in the street who is shouting nonsensical word salads? Would you go up to him and tell him to drink some frickin' basil? No. No, you wouldn't. You would be like, this man needs medication. Guarantee that's what you would say. So, if you're not in the shoes, just be very careful about your opinions about it, because, personally, medications, have made my life better, more functional. Like, for example, I'm gonna hit my bowl. Hold on. A long time ago, I had depression. And this was like a really bad depression, and I had not been diagnosed yet. I mean, I had been diagnosed with depression before, but this is just like the more recent time. So this would have been like 5 years ago or something like that. I stopped brushing my hair to the point where I had to cut most of it off, because no matter what I did, I couldn't get a comb through it. When I started like coming to after I was medicated, and I was like, oh my God, my hair. People were actually talking about it and talking to me about it, about why I wasn't brushing my hair. So that was actually a major red flag. I think there was some psychotic symptoms there, that hadn't been diagnosed yet. So they put me on, I think they gave me Zoloft back then. And you know what? I started brushing my hair. Um, so medications could be really helpful with stuff like that. I also think they're helpful with physical symptoms, like when you get depression. Um, I know me personally, I get really tight in the chest. That's like for mania too. I tend to have mixed episodes, so those are really extra special when you have a mixed episode and you're like this all day long. Um, that's when I end up in the hospital. It's mixed episodes are horrible. Um, yeah, so I mean, okay, and then there's Zyprexa. Zyprexa is what they give me when I go to the hospital to get me out of psychosis. Now, my psychiatrist gave it to me as needed, so I can take it every day if I need to, but I don't because it causes weight gain, like, for reals. It makes you crave sugar, and it makes you not care about eating it. It makes you just feel really, really good. But it's an antipsychotic, and it's a really strong one. So they only give it to crazy people. All right. I don't even know where I'm going with all that. I'm just rambling, but so just be careful of criticizing. I know Big Pharma is bad. They are corrupt, but I mean, that's the thing that sucks because I think there are genuinely good people behind it trying to help others. Like medications for mental illness, like revolutionized the mental health industry. It got people out of state hospitals where they were being abused. And like, they talk about this mental health crisis in the United States, but I think what people are really saying is those people make me uncomfortable and I don't want to see them in society anymore. Therefore, we must lock them away. That's what people mean. And you gotta understand, you can't force people into treatment. In a perfect world, no, it wouldn't be a perfect world if you could force people into treatment. Not everybody, it's not a requirement. We have free will. It's not a requirement to fully conform to society. So, like me, for example, I don't agree with all the therapies. A lot of the mental health therapies go against my religion. DBT, for example, uses a lot of Buddhism. Some people claim Buddhism's not a religion, but it is. I believe it's a religion. Therefore, I can't practice it. So I don't do like meditations or anything like that. And that has come with backlash in the past. Like that crazy last therapist I had, like she was really upset that I was like, wait a minute. She was upset and offended that I didn't agree with her therapy. So, but you wouldn't force people into treatment for other things. But people seem to think they have the right to force you into mental health treatment, but you don't, because it's not a one size fits all. So anyway, my point is, you wouldn't go tell that crazy guy on the street to go drink some tea. All right. You wouldn't tell him to take a capsule. So medications have been very helpful to me in a lot of ways. Like, oh my God, with my irritability, whoa, Nelly. So I'm on a mood stabilizer. I'm supposed to take it in the evening. Funny story. Hold on. So I'm supposed to take these pills morning and night, but I take them morning and afternoon, and I'm going to tell you why. It's because I am an extremely irritable person. And people and things and shit just irritate me. Specifically, this one coworker I had would irritate me so bad by 1 o'clock in the afternoon, uh, that I would have to take my mood stabilizer just to tolerate the rest of the workday. That was fucking terrible. And my alarm for my afternoon meds is my coworker Melinda. When Melinda gets there, she's like, "Katie, did you take your meds?" Like every single day. So she's my reminder. Um, so that's why I take those in the afternoon. Um, and then Latuda is like an antipsychotic slash antidepressant slash mood stabilizer. And it's the increase has been helping me a lot. Not feeling as I'm looking at things more logically as opposed to this like elevated emotional place. Just you guys, that Hurricane Helene from the outside looking in was crazy. And I don't think I would have felt so attached to it if I wasn't, actively talking to people going through it, because it's like my ex-father-in-law is still down there, and he said he's fine. And then my friend, a couple of my friends I still talk to down there. So and that was absolutely horrific. And things I learned about this system in which we live. It really opened my eyes to a lot of things. And I think sometimes that I have a hard time interpreting that stuff because I don't know if it's my bipolar or if it's me looking at something logically. I don't know. Anyway, I mean, not that I can't be logical when I'm having an episode, but I don't know, guys. Yeah, I tried that natural health stuff before, and looking back 20 years ago, this bipolar 1 thing started a long time ago, and I think I was very resistant to help in the system because I didn't feel like I was being heard. I was in therapy crying a lot because things were fucked up at the time. A normal person would cry, okay? An abnormal person would not have cried. And they would try to drug me because I was crying. They'd be like, "You need meds because you're having emotions." And I always kind of felt like, and I do feel this way still. I've run into a lot of people in the mental health system who try to fit me into a box. And I've always been told I'm different. And you're taking a different person and trying to fit them into a box. It doesn't work. And then I was being like punished for it, is how I felt. Like therapists telling me that I didn't know my identity. But really, what it was is that they couldn't figure out my identity, and therefore they were projecting, therefore I was being punished, and I would shut down. And see, like, my therapist now isn't like that. She's, like, kind of religious and is a little bit more, like, conservative about stuff like that. So she just listens. Like, it's crazy. She just freaking listens. And, like my therapist before her, this is kind of funny. The second time I saw her, she told me to divorce my husband, and it was over something very trivial. I don't even remember what it was now because it was so trivial. Red flag, okay? It's like she didn't seem to realize that my husband was the one paying for my therapy. We were joking about that the other day. Yeah, so you gotta be careful out there. See, I'm just kind of rambling, guys. It's like, it's already been 15 minutes. Okay, here's something. My head's quiet. I'm not pulling things from here and there. I was actually thinking now would be the time to start scripting my videos because I'm not pulling things from here and there. I mean, I kind of am, sort of, but I don't know. Anyway, guys, stay strong out there. You do the program that works best for you. The thing I didn't, oh God, yeah. I really need to do an in-depth video about this borderline personality disorder diagnosis because there was a lot of good things in that dual diagnosis program and there were a lot of bad things. I think the good thing was I did this program called SAM and I made a lot of friends. We were together for a year and a half as this like little group and I saw them 3 times a week. So, that was really cool. We all had kind of the same problems. But that borderline personality thing is, I don't know. If you're suffering from that, it sounds really horrible. I don't, so when I first started DBT, this lady in a video kept telling me that I was in hell. But she was like making these weird faces and I thought they were trying to lure me into like a Jim Jones cult. And I still kind of think that there's something weird about it. And okay, like rehab for substance abuse, okay, I don't have all the details. I'm just kind of talking here. I could look into it more. There was like this cult in California, like that lived on a beach or something like that. And he would help people with their substance abuse issues. And they did this thing where you would get in a circle and like criticize things about that person. When I went to rehab, they did that to people there. And I know that the substance abuse system follows some practices from that cult. And I'm going to look more into that. It's going to take some digging because I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I just listened to a podcast one time and I was like, oh, okay. And like I'm starting to see where that holistic healing school I went to, where they were getting some of their ideas about like having a damp system and stuff like that. It's from a cult leader. And I'm like, oh my God, how many things are coming from cults? And that's how I feel about a lot of these like mental health therapies. They seem very culty. Okay, so just because we have mental illness, this is something that would really annoy me about my last therapist. They act like we're idiots. They'll be like, just stand there, take a deep breath, and breathe. And I'm just like, dude, duh. You don't have to medicalize it. Just because I have mental illness doesn't mean I need to stand there and the grounding thing is weird. I understand like feeling grounded, like something my hamster is doing, for example. She's not up right now, but she puts her hands on rocks. She's been doing that since the day I put her in the cage. I put rocks in there for her and she likes to put her hands on them. And I think it's because it makes her feel grounded. So I do think there's something to that. But to encourage me to base my entire day and being on this groundedness, dude, sometimes having my head in the clouds is where I get all my ideas. Like, I write a story. And I get a lot of my ideas from, like, daydreaming and stuff. And thinking out new ideas and thinking about things. So, well, I don't know, man. See, maybe I am okay. I'm still getting ideas from all over the place. I don't know. So, people have a lot of ideas. Yeah, borderline personality disorder. Okay. They say it's a fear of abandonment. Uh, Everybody has that. There's not a single person on this planet that doesn't fear abandonment. So, um, they say it's real or imagined. So, if it's real, then normal people are experiencing that. I understand if it's imagined, that could be problematic. Like, people can get obsessive and stuff like that. I don't know. Obviously I didn't have that disorder. I had bipolar 1. I was sitting there in psychosis, seeing aliens. And I think that stuff is real. I don't care what anybody says. I think the stuff I do see is real, but I think it interferes with my life. There's other things that come with it, like, not brushing my hair, for example, and, maybe, like, neglecting my house and my family and me, and, so, yeah, medications help with all that, I guess is what I'm getting at. I don't know. Just rambling, guys. Just up and about. And I guess I'll see you all later. Alright, bye.